Please stand and join Vice Mayor Taylor on our pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for our prayer.
God, we come in prayer. You oversee us in Guthrie, Oklahoma, and we pray that you would bless us for your glory. May you grow this city for your people. May you guide us, keep us from evil, help us to not cause others pain. We pray that you will make us a source of help, hope, and love for Guthrie, Oklahoma. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Okay. Well, we call to order the regular city council meeting for Guthrie, Tuesday, January 20, 2026. 6:30 p.m. If anybody doesn't see what time it is, just for the record. Item number 2 is public comments, community announcements, and recognition. Eddie, these ladies asked that this be moved to the back of the agenda after the executive meeting, even like 1 o'clock in the mornings. I'm just kidding.
Item 28 then.
Yeah. No, we have a proclamation for PEO Founders Day. Do we have a representative of who will accept this proclamation? Want to give it? Okay. I'll meet you right up there at the podium.
Okay. All right. And actually, everyone can come and stand behind us if you'd like.
Come on, ladies.
I mean,
Everybody can get there.
There you go.
Perfect. I like it.
The whole crew.
Okay. And I'm going to let one of you hold the nice copy there. Now, there's a few words in here together that I had to practice a few times. I'm sure you can figure that out. So I will do my best. Whereas PEO was founded on January 21st, 1869 by 7 young women attending Iowa Wesleyan University in Mount Pleasant, Iowa, who formed a circle of kindred spirits bonded by their enthusiasm for expanding opportunities for women. And whereas this original circle grew beyond the campus to include women from surrounding communities and ultimately evolved into an international women's organization dedicated to the advancement of women through educational opportunities. And whereas PEO will celebrate its 157th, anniversary on January 21st, 2026, honoring its enduring mission to support women's educational opportunities through a strong sisterhood committed to lifelong learning. And whereas the PEO Sisterhood is a nonprofit philanthropic educational organization.
Nicely done.
I made it. With approximately 192,000 active members and more than 5,348 chapters throughout the United States and Canada, and proudly owns and supports Cotty College, did I say that correctly? Okay. An independent college for women located in Nevada, Missouri, and whereas the mission of the PEO Sisterhood reinforces its steadfast commitment to women in education by awarding scholarships, grants, and loans to women pursuing educational goals across the United States and Canada. Now, therefore, I, Adam G. Ropp, Mayor of the City of Guthrie and the great state of Oklahoma, do hereby recognize and honor the upcoming anniversary of PEO and its 7 founders and commend the 2 local Guthrie chapters, Chapter AD and Chapter AY, as they come together in sisterhood to celebrate PEO Founders Day and International PEO Day with a luncheon and program at the Guthrie Country Club on January 31st, 2026.
All right, everyone. I'm going to bend this down just a little bit. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. What a wonderful organization.
So the first thing on the agenda is a special meeting to go into executive session.
Yes, thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Consent agenda, approve the minutes, proposed executive session.
Okay. What?
6:30
We don't have a
special
crowd
meeting.
anymore.
Yeah, man, I thought at least stayed for a couple of hours.
I'm talking about what's online, not what's in here. So Eddie, are these two different, the online and this? Well, the first thing on the agenda is a special meeting to go into executive session.
There's a GEDA special meeting that will follow the city council meeting.
Okay,
So
that's,
there's two different packet options on the website. There's the
okay,
city
maybe I
council.
pulled the wrong one.
Okay. All right, I think we're good then.
I just
All right.
pulled the council packet. Shows everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're good to go ahead and move on then. Item number 3, consent agenda. Move approval of the consent agenda. Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the consent agenda items A through M. There's no further comments or discussion. Please cast your votes.
All votes are in?
Okay, unanimous approval from all those present on the consent agenda items A through M. Item number 4, items removed from the consent agenda. There were none. And item number 5, Guthrie Police Department badge retirement and equipment surplus. Chief Swagger.
Yes, I think most of you know Sergeant Mike Lanoy. As of February 2nd, he will have 21 years with the city, and he has decided he is tired and going to pursue other opportunities. So we're here tonight asking that since he's retiring in good standing, that you retire his badge number and that you grant him permission to have leave of his duty firearms. It's traditional what we do. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and 2 seconds. So any further comments here for our chief?
I want to comment that Mr. Lanoy and I were in the same graduating class here in Guthrie, America, and I don't think it's fair. that
You
he
look
gets
way
to
younger.
retire.
Way younger.
Thank you. But I'll vote yes.
So moved. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Form comments?
Congratulations on the retirement.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Okay. Well, we have a motion on the table and a second to move forward with this. Anybody else? Okay, please cast your votes.
All votes are in?
All right, unanimous approval from all those present.
Thank you all very much.
Item number 6, purchase of a 2026 Ford F-450 chassis Medic 3 ambulance remount. Chief Lawson.
I'm
Or
Chief
chassis.
Braden.
Dan, you've
Chief
changed.
Lawson's voice was a little on the weak side, so I
would be,
asked him if I could help him out tonight.
Blake, is it Braden, correct?
Yes.
Yes, correct.
We are asking for approval to move forward with this remount. Like our Medic 2 that we just completed, this would be the same process. Medic 3 would be on a 26 chassis starting May, June time period. Our current chassis has about 255,000 miles, very hard ridden miles, and it's at the end of its age and lifetime when it comes to service and operability. So this will allow us to get moving with a very reliable option as another ambulance. Chief Lawson reached out to the Northeast EMS District, and they were able to provide $95,000 of funding. And so the remaining balance will be used from the rollover from our previous budget year. Timeline is about a year from time of the start to completion, and this is going to be the most cost-effective option for us to move forward.
Same as we've done in the past.
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Second is on this one. I'm gonna laugh. It's a 2026 model. Will we get to 2027 probably because if it's gonna be a year?
No, they'll start it with a 26
26,
chassis.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. And diesel?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Who was the second on that? Grant.
So we have a,
There's been a motion.
we have a motion and a
John?
second. Okay, I accidentally, who made the motion?
Brian.
I did. Okay, all right. All right, motion and a second. Anybody else? Okay, please cast your votes.
All votes are in?
Okay, unanimous approval for the Medic 3 ambulance remount. Item number 7, the acceptance of an FAA grant AIG 3-40-0036-025-2026, resolution number 2026 It's going to be the Caden Young Show here for a little bit.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I do want to recognize that the FAA comes up with that number. We don't just throw that the longest number we can come up with.
Good to know.
As you may recall, we've been in the process of acquiring 2 parcels of land that are prime for aviation development next to the taxiway. With council approval, we have already acquired 20 acres, and now we are coming back with approval to purchase the remaining 15. The local cost to the city of Guthrie at the end of the day will be $80,624, or around $5,400 an acre. Moving forward with this resolution will allow staff to get the grant reimbursement process farther along, so we can cover ourselves for this purchase. I'm happy.
Moved. Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Anybody else have any comments or questions for Mr. Young on this?
Oh, it is the Caden Young Show.
Yep. And the Chief's Show too here after that. Okay, we have a motion and a second. If there's no further comments or questions, please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Unanimous approval for the acceptance of the FAA grant and those numbers. No, okay, I'll read it. AIG 3-40-0036-025-2026, resolution number 2026-02. Okay, item number 8, acceptance of Oklahoma Department of Aerospace and Aeronautics, ODAA grant, GOK-26A-FS. Mr. Young again.
Just like the previous item, this is approving grant funding for the same project. This is just approving the state funding, so that you just voted on approval from the Federal Aviation Administration. This will be from the state of Oklahoma.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Motion or second? No comments, questions? If there are none, please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay. Unanimous approval for the acceptance of the Oklahoma Department of Aerospace and Aeronautics grant, the GOK-26A-FS. Item number 9, resolution number 2026-01, authorizing the purchase of property for airport purposes and approving the temporary transfer of funds. Mr. Young.
This is just the official resolution that will allow us to move forward on what's already been approved.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second.
I want to ask a stupid question. Is this the property that's at the end of the runway would be on the west side?
So this is on the west side of the, I don't know if we can put a map. This is on the west side of the taxiway. And so this is on the corner here. It's valuable property to us because of its proximity to the taxiway and expanding that access.
Okay, that's where I was thinking it was at. Okay.
Okay. We had a motion and a second, I do believe. So if there's no further comments or questions, please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Unanimous approval for resolution number 2026-01, authorizing the purchase of property for airport purposes and approving the temporary transfer of funds. Item number 10 is the lease agreement to Randall S. Martin and Wynette J. Martin.
I will say I have questions on this one before somebody jumps in with the motion.
Are they trying to just do hay on that? Is that what they're doing?
No.
So we have an
That's my
exhibit.
question. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. We have an exhibit map for this as well. During the negotiation process, Smith Roberts Land Service provided the negotiations on behalf of the city. One of the things that the landowners expressed was that they would like to keep their cattle in the short term. It's maximum around 3 or 4 cows. On the back 10 acres. And so it's kind of an odd situation because we're purchasing the property and immediately leasing it back to them. But the reason that the city staff felt comfortable doing so was that looking at our current 5-year forecast, we have no plans, we have no grant funding to immediately utilize this property. And so we felt comfortable leasing this acreage. The green there you'll see, the city will purchase and maintain. The purple is what would be leased. That's about 9 acres.
So that's just future development anyway.
Yes, sir.
So motion approved.
Second.
I have a quick question.
No, there's questions
You
here.
got questions?
Yeah, so the big discussion at the airport board with regard to this item is the risk that the city incurs. As a result of the fact that the property is already owned by them and the airport was there, we don't have any liability issues, I believe, as long as they own the property. If one of their animals should breach the fence and get out onto the runway, as you know, we've had a number of incidents on the airport with animals crossing the runway and even one being struck. Recently, we've had
we've had more than one incident of that. And the concern from my perspective, as well as one of the members of the Edmond representatives on the board, was the liability that once we authorize a known potential hazard to be on our property, on the airport, were we going to seek sufficient, and would the lease agreement contain sufficient? And I apologize if this is in the packet, but I couldn't blow it up so that my old eyes could read the lease agreement to ensure that we had sufficient coverage of insurance from them to maintain those animals on the property. I, as a pilot, view that as a significant threat potential. One which was not of our making, but once we authorize something like this, it does become our problem.
Absolutely. As soon as that concern was made in the airport board meeting, I reached out to the landowners. I told them we're going to need to add some kind of liability insurance requirements and make this stricter within the lease agreement. They immediately came back with a proof of insurance for $300,000, just general liability. I told them that needs to be increased. It's now up to the minimum standards that we require for all hangars, a little over $1 million for general liability. That's what we require for all aircraft owners out at the airport. And so we felt like that was sufficient enough because it doesn't exceed what we ask our pilots to do.
So as a cattle owner, I carry $1 million rider umbrella on it just because of that. And I thought that's pretty standard out there these days. Jeff, you probably do something similar. It doesn't cost much, $300-400 a year. What have they been doing in the past? We don't know.
No, I don't know that they've had insurance in the past, but because the airport has been there for such an extended period of time, and because they're property and they've owned it for an extended period of time, I didn't view that as any significant risk to the city or to the airport, except for the fact that we're now in the past we didn't authorize that. That's just what a landowner had. Now we're saying go ahead and do this, given the fact that we have significant animal incursion onto airport property.
Have we ever had a cow go onto airport property?
Not since I've been with the city of Guthrie. There may have been in the past that I'm unaware of.
Something I'd like to point out is city attorney has drafted this lease agreement. We have amended to include the insurance requirements. And this draft lease prior to our changes came from the state. So it is something that is used in other areas, in other airports. So I think we've addressed the concerns, unless Marvel has anything he'd like to add from the city attorney's perspective as to liability.
I guess my concern would also be the amount. As Apex has increased the number of jet traffic that we have on the airport, a Cirrus SR-22, which is one of the aircraft that one of the flight schools flies out there, is currently $1.3 million new. If we had a animal strike with that aircraft, that's a total loss. The last aircraft that we had with an animal strike on the airport resulted in a total loss of the aircraft. That wasn't an SR-22, but we've seen an increase in the number of high-value aircraft that are on the airport property. I don't remember the total number of jet aircraft that we currently have on the property. It was probably 3 a couple of years ago, and we're at a significantly increased number from that as a result of the fact that our FBO has increased the footprint of corporate jet that we've had. I mean, like, none of those aircraft are
So the jet owner is going to
south of $1 million.
The jet owner is going to carry insurance to cover the cost of his jet, and then this guy is going to carry another $1 million plus. I personally don't see the issue. It seems like it's heavily insured. The $1 million plus is just kind of like an umbrella to cover over top of anything else that happens. Because let's face it, that jet can be coming down and a flock of geese come flying in there and wipes out the jet. Okay, nobody's liable, but he's got insurance to cover the jet. So,
Well, Grant, are you done, Brian?
Yeah.
If we didn't move forward with this, like Brian was suggesting, what would be your resolve?
I think the amount is my concern. I don't have a problem with the lease.
It's just the
I
amount
have
of
a
insurance
problem
needs
with
to be
the
higher.
amount of coverage that is being asked. I mean, I know that $1 million seems like a lot, but in an aircraft incident, it's not.
Because because it's more than just the total of the airplane.
If you had a loss of life, that would well exceed $1 million. The airplane itself, I mean, I'm suggesting that the normal, everyday operations, and we have probably, I would guess, on an average day, and I don't know, we could look at this because we actually track the tail numbers at this point, that we probably have between 7 and 15 SR-20s moving and taking operations on the aircraft every single day that I know about, because I'm out there every day. And those aircraft are all $1 million apiece. And we have a flight school that has 3 of them.
So what number do we think would be sufficient? Is that 3 million? Is that 5 million? What are we looking for?
I would say it's north of $1 million. I mean, $1 million seems.
didn't you say it was $1 million plus?
No. What was
Yes,
the?
it did.
Million.
Said it was $1 million something.
Commercial general liability, $1 million per occurrence. Yep.
Okay.
So do we want 2 million or 3 million? What are we thinking?
I would say at least 2.
What is standard?
In this situation, I can't
Cadence,
answer that.
what's standard?
The only standard that I have to go off of is what our minimum standards for flight schools is for each aircraft that is.
Does the FAA have some kind of guideline on this?
They don't have a specific requirement for an airport. $1 million is, I'm sure, what they put as an example in their minimum standards. It sounds like we may also need to come back and amend the minimum standards at some point if $1 million is not enough. If we decide that that needs to be increased, which I think staff would be okay with, we would just need to go back to the landowner and let them know. Our last discussions with Smith Roberts Land Service is that due to the timing of this and the timing of the grants, approval of this property was contingent upon the lease agreement. So we would just bring the lease agreement back to you with that increased insurance amount.
Well, so, and I'm not going to, I'll be quiet right after this, but I just got one more point to make. That, Grant, you mentioned loss of life is terrible, and there is no dollar amount that you can put on loss of life. If going from $1 million to $2 million does nothing for loss of life, and it really doesn't. Go to 10 million if you want to cover loss of life, or 20 million, 30 million. I don't even know that you can cover it for that. Okay, but I do know that these aircrafts, they have to carry that type of insurance as well, right? Don't they?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I'm talking about these jets. They have to carry
Yes.
all of that.
But whether or not we'll seek subrogation on that is by, and I left you speak.
Well, that would be up to a court at that point.
I just have a quick question, and this is a very simple question. Have these landowners had cattle there this whole time?
Yes.
So for years?
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
forever.
And they primarily use it for seasonal cattle grazing. Like I said, they've kept at most 3 cows. There is a maximum in the agreement to how much they can have.
Okay.
But
You might have already said this, is there any way we can move forward with the lease agreement and then just look into how much insurance would be acceptable later?
Yes, I think that's a great point, Mayor. Whatever the council's comfortable with, as Caden mentioned, if our standard for the airport is $1 million minimum for commercial general liability, period, it does seem a bit excessive to go over that $1 million. However, I will defer to the board because that is your
I have
discretion.
a motion on the table to approve it with the $1 million. And we got a second down here, so we go to a vote on it, and then we move on. $1 million is pretty standard on anything.
Yeah.
Okay, they're gonna have way more than that on their SR-22 jet.
And if we feel like we need to fund further evaluation, we can go up, right? I mean,
I don't see a reason why we couldn't. I don't know if this helps or not, in our airport facility directory, also on chart supplements, when you're going to go land at our airport, because of all the wildlife issues, we do have it in the notes there, pilots should read it, where it says wildlife active on or near runway areas. And so I don't know if it helps the fact that the pilot on approach would already be hopefully looking for some kind of livestock or animal. Certainly not a cow that's on city property, but you can kind of understand what I'm getting at there. So.
Okay, well, Grant, when you were gone, we just discussed, we already have a motion on the table and a second to approve as it is, but willingly knowing we can look into purchasing a bigger insurance package if we feel like we need to in the future.
What was the requirement that we inserted into the agreement after? Was it after the airport board had voted on this issue that we?
Yes, sir. So we had the liability and indemnification, section was already in there. What we inserted was the section 5 pertaining to insurance, liability insurance. We took that language directly from our lease agreements that we typically use.
All right.
Well, so you got a motion and a second.
Yep, any question? Any other comments, Grant, or you?
Well, the member on the board who has run an airport voted no based on the amount that we had requested. So.
But we can purchase more, correct?
We could ask for that property owner to purchase more, or the city could look at purchasing a separate policy that would accommodate that, if that's what the council desires. Absolutely.
We don't have to decide that right now tonight.
We do need to know so that we can move forward. Because
You got a motion and a second on the table.
Yeah, I know.
For the million.
For the $1 million.
For the $1 million.
As it is.
If it's desired to be higher than $1 million, we would need to know that now so that we can proceed with the lease agreement is contingent upon the property purchase, and the property purchase is contingent upon the lease agreement. So we can't go forward if we don't know what that request is. So if it's $1 million, great. If it's $2 million, then we would ask for you to authorize that up to $2 million. We would go back to the landowner and say, the council would like for you to have a $2 million policy. And then from there, we could execute, or they could say no, and we could not purchase the property. I mean, that would be, unless a new deal was negotiated.
Okay, all right. Understood. Okay, any further questions, comments from down here? Okay, all right, well, we have a motion on the table in a second, so there's no further discussion. Let's go ahead and cast our votes.
All votes for him.
Okay, and it passes 5-1, the lease agreement of the Randall S. Martin and Lynette J. Martin. Item number 11, Main Street Incentive Grant Acceptance. Shonda Rooney.
Hey, so about this exact time 1 year ago, I was presenting to you the Main Street Incentive Grant Program with which we completed the Pocket Park. So now I'm coming back to you with the exact same grant program. I submitted an application to do a small streetscape project in downtown, including adding some new trees, doing some wayfinding signage, some planters, and some historic benches. So if I can get your approval to spend our 50% and accept the award, then I will move on to the Parks Board so that they can approve the trees and the plants, and then the HPC to approve the benches and the planters and the signage.
So moved.
Second.
And by the way, you're doing a great job. on
Thank
stuff.
you.
Just let
Thank
know
you. I
that.
appreciate it.
We have a motion and a second. Anybody else questions, comments for Madam Rooney? Okay, cast your votes then.
All votes for him.
Okay, unanimous approval.
Thank you.
Main Street Incentive Grant. Thank you, Shonda. Item number 12, the purchase of a 2025 Chevrolet Police Tahoe. Chief Swagger.
Pretty self-explanatory. We're going to use the money from 2 vehicles that were wrecked to pay for the Tahoe, and then we'll outfit it for another $25,000.
And
So moved.
the settlement on those two vehicles will not quite cover the purchase or the upfit.
Sure,
So there are funds that will need to come. As we stated in the staff report, it will either be surplus funds at the end of the year, or he'll make up for it in his budget. So.
Second.
Okay. Motion and a second. Questions, comments? Okay, if there's no further comments or questions, please cast your votes. Unanimous approval for the purchase of a 2025 Chevrolet Police Tahoe. Item number 13, memorandum of understanding with Direct Protective Services for firing range use. Chief?
We allow government entities to come out and use the firing range because they have their own insurance. Anytime someone else wants to use the range, a company wants to use the range, we come and ask the council for permission. We have a pretty standard contract that was put together by Mr. Wheeler last time, and I believe Mr. Marvell has looked at it this time. No? Yes. So they are asking to be able to come out and basically certify their security guards annually and during initial training at our range.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Any comments or questions?
I think we ought to make it public.
I'm okay with that.
I'm serious.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, with guidance.
Right.
Yes.
Speaking of liability,
It's just open.
let's,
Anybody
I
can
say
come at
with
any time.
guidance.
Give them the code, they go in, they just have it. Okay. All right, any questions, comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second. If there's no further comments or questions, please cast your votes.
This is the police show.
Yeah.
Man, this is police shit.
All right, unanimous approval for the memorandum of understanding with the Direct Protective Services for firing range use. Item number 14, the ODEM grant acceptance, 911 mapping project.
The state has awarded us $82,000 to renew all our GIS mapping throughout Logan County. Asking that you accept it, it's 100% on them, there's no match on us, we have to get reimbursed for it.
So, and that's a big deal, because on the 911 mapping, you can have a new location, for example, the county offices, and obviously the EMS and fire knows where they're at, but when you go ahead and key them in, their address in, it shows non-existent.
Well, and if you look at Logan County especially, you'll find at a T intersection, you'll have a cluster of 8 dots right here because no one ever knew where the houses were going to go, and the houses have been in for 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's kind of important.
Yeah. Second.
Okay.
Very important.
Yes.
All right, any questions or comments on that to the chief? Okay, no further comments or questions, please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval for the ODEM grant acceptance 911 mapping project, thank God. Get that updated, chief. Item number 15, the 911 GIS mapping proposal, Spatial Data Research, Inc.
Spatial Data Research has a state contract for doing the mapping, and I'm asking you to allow us to spend that $82,000 that you just accepted on them to do the mapping.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Questions, comments? All right, if there are none for the chief, please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval for the 911 GIS mapping proposal, Spatial Data Research. Item number 16 is District Attorney's Council grant acceptance, Responsible Gun Storage Program.
The Attorney General's office once a year offers some grants for various projects. They don't tell you what you have to ask for, but they give you some general guidelines. When I checked into it this last year, no one had ever asked for any of the grants under the weapons category. And so I got with the other law enforcement inside Logan County, and we thought, we just kind of looked at what we might be able to do to prevent some guns from being ending up in the wrong hands. So they gave us $76,000 to basically buy gun trigger locks and lock boxes that we could provide to our public. I think our lock boxes, we're going to get about 2,800 of those, and I think on our trigger locks, we're going to get about 40,000, I think.
Are you going to have some kind of criteria on that? Like, in other words, if they come in and say, hey, we need a lockbox, or, are they going to have to, they're not obviously going to have to be mandated to be conceal and carry anymore.
No. But I had the first meeting with the sheriff and the chief at Crescent last week, and we're working on coming up with criteria for that now.
So moved.
Second.
Motion. First and a second. Any questions, comments? Okay. Please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval for the District Attorney's Council grant acceptance responsible gun storage program. Item number 17, the JAG LLEBG grant acceptance handheld radios.
Yes, we received a grant for $10,000. We had asked them to allow us to purchase 2 handheld radios. The total cost for 2 handheld radios is about $12,000, so we'll have to come up with the extra out of my budget.
Again, this may be a silly question, but a handheld radio that's I'm not questioning the amount, but it's just, I am questioning the amount.
Yeah.
Is it like a walk?
It's a walkie-talkie, yep.
Okay.
And they're more expensive than the ones that go in the cars.
Okay.
Several years ago, when the state decided they wanted to put in an 800 megahertz radio system along 35 and 44 and 40 and 20, they awarded that contract to Motorola. And Motorola is the only one that provides these, and they're not cheap.
There you go.
But it hits all their radio towers. I mean,
Yes,
it's wherever
yes.
they're at.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Thank
moved.
you for answering my
You're
question.
So moved.
Motorola.
Do we have you got a motion over here? Okay. Motion second. Any questions, comments about this?
I don't remember what it was.
Okay, if there's no comments or questions, cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval for the JAG LLEBG grant acceptance handheld radios. Item number 18, District Attorney's Council grant acceptance, Violence Against Women Act.
We've had this grant for about 7 years at this point. This grant pays 95% of the salary for one of our detectives who specializes in sex crimes, rape, domestic violence, and stalking.
Haven't we also been using a company vehicle on some of that, or am I thinking of something else? I thought we were using something to be able to transport.
Different grant.
Okay.
I got a couple of them.
So
Just a
moved.
few.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. If there's no further comments or questions, please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval for the District Attorney's Council grant acceptance, Violence Against Women Act.
Thank you for all those very much.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Item number 19, termination of the IT services agreement with Standards IT LLC. Mr. Faulkner?
Yes, Mayor and Council, if you'll recall, we were successful in securing $380,000 in cybersecurity grant funds to update technology services here within the city of Guthrie. Unfortunately, those funds ran out effective December 30th, 2025. With that, the company that we were using, Standards IT, we were no longer able to afford the services in which Standards provides. So we've got a separate company that will be your next agenda item. But at this time, we're going to be terminating this agreement effective February 6, 2026. We're all in good standing. It's just a lack of grant funding and affording the service. So staff recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any questions for Eddie? Okay, there's no comments or questions. Go ahead and cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval for the termination of the IT services agreement with Standards IT LLC. Item number 20 is the master service agreement and IT services agreement with Prestige IT LLC.
Yes, Mayor and Council, this agreement pursuant to your previous action terminating the Standards IT agreement, Prestige IT is a local IT company with ownership that is familiar with our infrastructure here at the city. The Master Services Agreement and the IT Services Agreement have both been reviewed and approved by the city attorney. A couple of key points here for you. Monthly service fee, $3,500 a month, with an initial payment of $10,000. Staff recommends approval, and it is budgeted.
So moved.
Second.
No further comments or questions for Eddie on that? Let's cast your votes.
Vice Mayor.
I did.
Dan's ready to jump up and do a backflip right to the podium.
Broken?
Maybe my button's broken.
It's not going.
You want to reset it? And see if it'll do
Reset it.
anything?
Let's see if that'll do it.
So all votes are in.
There. Now it clicked.
Dan, you didn't go.
Huh?
Deanna doesn't vote.
I did.
Oh.
Do I do it again?
There you go.
All right, we made it. Unanimous approval for master
The
service
wires are
agreement
crossed.
and IT services agreement with Prestige IT LLC.
Hey, we need to get the IT guys in here.
Yeah, right. All right. Item number 21 is the final subdivision plat approval, Mission Hills, Section 2, Phase 4.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, City Council. As indicated, this is Phase 4 of the Mission Hills subdivision, Section 2, which is a subdivision adjacent to or west of the original Mission Hills. This has 20 lots on about 27 acres. The reason there's so few lots, this is the very southwest corner of the property, and most of it's in the floodplain, so this is that area that's along Prairie Grove and Davis Road. So again, that's why there's so few lots. The Planning Commission recommended approval 3-0. All of the improvement plans have been reviewed and approved by the city engineer and our Public Works Department. I'll just mention that we'll probably have 2 more phases left, one to the north of the existing subdivision, and then basically what's adjacent to this one to the east, and that will take care of all the Section 2 there.
So now the flooding is handled, because Jeff and I have dealt with Mission Hills flooding issues that nobody could control anymore. We won't mention who or who they were, but because it was, should have been handled on the front end. But the engineering has handled that, correct?
Yes, and all the phases, yeah. And again, the reason there was nothing in this at all is because it was a floodplain, so there won't be any type of development. But each of the final plats that have gone through have been reviewed to make sure it corresponds to the overall grading plan that was approved as part of the PUD subdivision and that. So all of it should drain basically within its subdivision and not affect any other properties.
So therefore, when homeowner A buys the property and they build the house, and in 6 months, if it floods, that's going to be the builder's issue, right? Or is that going to be the city's? Whose issue is that going to be?
No, yeah, I was going to say there should be no flooding whatsoever. I mean, to be honest with you, if there is, there's probably bigger issues we have. I mean, because right now, none of what's being done is in a floodplain. So again, all the drainage that would come from any rain or down the streets, whatever, is engineered to go into drainage retention ponds.
So let me just say it a different way, in the protection of the people that are going to be buying and moving in there. Because again, Jeff and I have dealt with this.
Yep.
And they did flood. And there's nothing that you can do about it. And so if it does happen, then it's going to fall back on the engineering of the city and the builder, right?
Civil issue between.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to be a civil, it's going to be like any other property in town.
They're going to be able to do something about it where these homeowners that Jeff and I dealt with weren't able to because it was way past the time frame and the whole deal.
Yeah, and plus at that time, there was no review like we have now. When the original Mission Hills went in, we didn't have a drainage ordinance.
Okay.
And I want to be clear, I'm not aware of the previous issues, but I will say it is a civil issue between the property owner and the builder. So they have that ability to go in and sue just as anybody else would.
Right. And again, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but what I'm saying, since this is a defined flood area and that engineering is approving these homes to be built within that area.
No, that's what I was saying.
On the outside of that area.
Yeah, the homes are outside the floodplain.
I know the exact
And part of the drainage plan that was approved to make sure that any of the drainage goes to the proper retention basins.
Okay.
So the Corps of Engineers who determines floodplains, correct?
FEMA.
So they consider it not a floodplain now, or?
No, it would never, this was never in the floodplain. Yeah, the designated floodplain.
It rides on the edge of the floodplain is what it does.
Yeah.
But so that flood could potentially rise is where I'm going with this.
Well, 100-year floodplain, I guess. And it did flood down there really bad. We'll get another 100 years to go. Hopefully so. I'll be dead and gone, and nobody will care. Jeff.
Any further comments or questions for Mr. Casey?
Nope, move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. If there's no further comments or questions, please cast your votes.
I'll vote sorry.
Unanimous approval for the final subdivision plat approval, Mission Hills, Section 2, Phase 4. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Item number 22, City Manager's Report.
Yes, Mayor and Council, welcome back. It's been a little over a month since we had our last council meeting. I believe everybody was thankful for the opportunity to rest and enjoy the holiday season here in Guthrie. Another great holiday season. We've heard nothing but good things from all the merchants. And in fact, several of our merchants said they've had their best holiday season, Christmas season on record this year. And we hear that. That's a theme. We heard that last year. First weekend in Victorian Walks. We had our best day ever. And then this year we heard it again. We topped last year by 10%. We had our best day ever. Well, it's like, okay, we're happy to hear that. That means that good things are going on. We've got good organizations within the community, between the Territorial Christmas and all of the folks who were volunteering with that, as well as Very Merry Guthrie Christmas. And I'm sure there were several other events. If I tried to name them all, we'd be here all evening. But lots of good volunteers in this community that make the Christmas magic happen, and we're well known for it. We received some great recognition. HGTV recognized Guthrie as one of the 50 best small towns to experience Christmas in. And that just speaks again to the level of tourism and the commitment of our volunteers within this community. Last week, the Chamber of Commerce held the State of the City. Thank you to those of you who were able to attend. Started off the year strong with 70 people at the luncheon, which I was happy to hear that. The normal attendance at a Guthrie Chamber lunch is about 40 people. So we were rallying them all in and bringing the folks in. They were excited to hear about all the great things their city's got going on in 2026. Runway 1634 is closed at the airport. For approximately 7 weeks, we'll complete the final leg of the taxiway and fix the dip on the runway. If you're unfamiliar with the dip, that is actually a couple of panels on the runway where the subgrade has failed and caused literally a dip in the runway. It's my understanding that's been there for 20 plus years, and we were able to address it rather quickly during this taxiway project with the help of the FAA and the ODAA. Toby, Caden, and myself were able to get this through relatively quick with a cost of about $5,000 per city. So City of Guthrie, $5,000, City of Edmond. We're going to fix that issue, and that is just tremendous. It's a tremendous win for the airport. ADA intersection here on 1st in Oklahoma closed on January 5th. With good weather, we anticipate it'll be open between 45 and 60 days. Be the complete removal and replacement. If you've been walking through there, they've already got concrete poured back for the crosswalks, and some of their curbs are already complete. They're moving along nicely. The West Side Booster Pump Station, there underneath that West Side Tower, is nearly ready for ribbon cutting. We've been running off of it for the last couple of weeks and seem to be happy with everything. That project, again, both of those CIP funded, replace the oldest booster pump station inside city limits. So chewing away at that infrastructure one bite at a time. Owen Field bid opening, currently scheduled for January 22nd. That has been pushed. It was previously scheduled for December 11th, then January 13th. Now we're at January 22nd. I think that's going to be the final date because we're running out of time. But we had some amendments to the plans, and the holiday season, we felt it would be best to go ahead and push that time out. Make sure that we got as many contractors in here as we could to give us a good bid on that construction. We will be accepting bids for ground maintenance services for mowing at Summit View Cemetery, the center medians on Division, as well as the center medians on Noble. And we've also thrown in an alternate to get bids for mowing airport property. So we look forward to a mandatory pre-bid meeting on February 5th at 10 o'clock inside the council chambers. Do have a couple of retirements for you. You've heard about one of them, Sergeant Mike Lanoy, after 21 years, is retiring from the police department. We wish him all the best. We also have a retirement, Captain Sean Rice, 25 years with the Guthrie Fire Department, will be retiring this Friday, his retirement party at 2 o'clock at the fire station. So you should have gotten that invitation in your email from Jessica. I will be out of the office the remainder of the week at the CMAO conference in Edmond. So I'm out of the office, but I'll really still be around. That usually translates to I'm here early and I'm here late. But be right down the road at Covell. If you need anything, be available by phone. And we are back to our regular meeting schedule. So our next meeting will be held on February 3rd. Again, we appreciate that break. I'm sure it's been nice for all of you. Although we had 27 agenda items, we're still making record time. So thank you, guys. That's all I've got.
All right. Thank you, Eddie.
Thanks, Eddie.
Item number 23, request comments from members of City Council. Councilman Williams?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Denning?
I do have a quick comment.
We'll make it quick.
I'm going to read it so I don't
You
get
can take as much
off
time as you
track.
need. You can take as much time as you need.
Due to the upcoming possibility of cold weather this weekend and snow, I was asked by Amanda. She operates Save by Grace Rescue here in Guthrie. Does amazing work with animals, our doggos, and lots of assistance that a lot of volunteers here in town help with. But she did ask for the viewing audience and anyone in this room that has things to donate or would like to volunteer. So I'm going to read just her message so I don't get off track here. Okay, if anyone wants to volunteer, donate straw, old, new dog houses, dog jackets, sweaters, blankets, dog beds, that would be wonderful, a way for me to get out and give things away to people that need them. This includes both city and county, obviously. She has dog food, some extra blankets, and some jackets to start with, but always can pick up donations or meet folks who can't get to her. Also, her fosters are full. She cannot take any dogs in right now without new foster homes. So if anyone in the viewing audience is interested in becoming a foster to open up more room for her at her rescue, she does have a Facebook page, Saved by Grace Rescue, and that application is on her page. They can also get a hold of her on Facebook or call and text at 405-293-2878. So if anyone has any needs, please reach out to me, Amanda, and we will get folks whatever they need to get through this cold spell for their animals. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Taylor.
Thank you, staff. Man, you guys brought all kinds of stuff to us today. I appreciate that. It's, we hadn't been here in 6 weeks, so it's kind of nice to get a grand hearing from everybody. I appreciate all this work. So other than that, that's it.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Aguirre?
Nothing, thank you.
Councilman Bothroyd?
Well, Jeff stole my thunder. I was actually going to thank staff tonight. No, seriously, Chief, you've done a heck of a job ever since I've known you, and you really have. And Cadence, as you have, Shonda obviously goes without speaking. You've done phenomenal, and so have you, Dan. And you continually, Dan has done a great job. And,
by the way, Dan too.
Well,
He kept her 5 minutes.
and I don't want to point Dan out too much because it might give him too inflated of a head over there, but he does post some stuff out there, and it's always positive about our town. There's never negativism. It's just positive growth and direction, and I appreciate that. Proud of you for that. And that's it.
All right, thank you, sir. Now it's my turn. Yes, this is the first meeting after the holidays, so glad to see that everybody survived. I would like to back up Councilwoman Denning there on the idea that it is getting cold outside. Please bring your animals inside. Okay, let's get our pets inside. State of the City address, I attended. The city manager, like he said, he spoke, gave a presentation. He talked about what we accomplished in 2025 and what we plan to do in 2026, and I thought he did an excellent job. So thank you, Eddie, for representing the city on that vision. Now that the holidays are over, that doesn't mean that we still don't have events. I don't know if any other town in America has as many events as we do, and that's a great thing. It's supposed to slow down. It never does in Guthrie. New York City does not sleep, and Guthrie never not has an event going on. So we still have events going on at the library right now, so if you have kids, you have something for them to do. Pollard Theater still has shows going on right now. We have multiple ribbon cuttings and businesses being open, so Even though the holidays are over, there's still plenty of things to do. And with that, that is all that I have. Welcome back. I'm looking forward to a great year. I do also want to thank, I do want to take a page from the Vice Mayor, and I do want to thank staff. Thank you so much for 2025. I appreciate it very much. And with that, we will. Yes.
I agree. That's exactly right.
And, oh wait, no.
I thought you were done.
Never done. No, I was, but before we go into the next meeting, we have an executive session. So item number 24, the proposed executive session pursuant to the authority of the Title 25 OS 307 as follows.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. No further comments or questions. Cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval for the proposed executive session. There we
I
are.
move that we reconvene in the executive session.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval to come out of executive session. So is it, we're item 24, we'll go ahead and do A.
No, 26.
Well, 26.
26.
Okay.
I move that we allow the staff to enter into negotiation with Young Contracting LLC.
Okay. And is there a second on that?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further comments or discussion? If none, please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval for the mediation with Young Contracting LLC. And with that, item number 27 is we are adjourned. And then we will call to order our Guthrie Public Works Regular Authority meeting, again, Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. Item number 2 is the consent agenda, items A through D.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, thank you. We have a first and a second. No further discussions. Please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval for items A through D. Item number 3, items from the consent agenda that were removed, there were none. Number 4, we have WWTP conceptual plan acceptance and waste load allocation study authorization. Mr. Maker? Tanny had to wait all the time for this.
Yes, Mayor and Council, I'll try to make this quick because I believe Bill Myers is going to have a PowerPoint as well to kind of go in a little bit more detail over this project. During our DEQ inspection in early 2025, it was observed that the Cimarron River had migrated northward several hundred feet from its historical alignment. The current outfall now discharges kind of in a backwater area that's no longer connected to the active river channel. DEQ requires the discharge to enter into flowing water. Therefore, remedial measures are necessary to reestablish the compliance and ensure proper dispersion of the treated effluent waters. Our discharge permits, they're renewed every 5 years. The expiration of this permit was March 6th of 2025. However, due to the issues required from the outfall location, the permit renewal it was not approved. We had submitted it, let's see. Well, we met with DEQ to go over the actions to come up with a plan on August 22nd of 2025. With that, I will turn the podium over to Bill. I believe he's got our city engineer, he's got a PowerPoint to kind of go a little bit more in depth on this project, what it will all entail, some timelines. I will say our next sanitary survey with DEQ for 2026 is coming up. It's the 27th of this month, so we'll have another inspection coming up on the 27th. Hopefully everything goes well with that one. And we're not back here in a year with another project. But Bill, would you like to go ahead and come forward and kind of go on in detail a little bit more with the project?
Thank you, Kenny. Mayor, Council. Wanted to talk, what we have on the agenda tonight is basically we need your concurrence in us submitting a work plan to DEQ to deal with this issue. I'll go through this rather quickly because we're all maybe tired. I know Brian needs to go to Oklahoma City. So let me knock this.
I do.
And I am too. So, all right. So here we are. So the plant came on the line in 2024, June. We're substantially complete. The plant's about 1.5 miles. The old plant is 1.5 miles east. The existing permit and discharge there was regulatory issues. The treated effluent, like Tenny said, was discharged to a flowing water course under DEQ regs. The existing outflow was originally compliant with permit conditions, and the permit renewed without issue every 5 years up to 2020. So compliance relies on adequate hydraulic connection to the Cimarron River. Cimarron River migrates cyclically and has currently drifted several hundred feet northward at the location of the outfall. The existing outfall now discharges into a stagnant backwater area. Backwater area is no longer hydraulically connected to the active river channel. Current conditions do not meet regulatory discharge requirements. So the project objective is to restore a compliant discharge to a flowing water course, minimize regulatory risk and long-term operational burden, identify the most cost-effective and sustainable long-term solution, and avoid unnecessary increases in the treatment intensity and O&M costs. The alternate one we looked at was extend the existing effluent main to a new downstream discharge point, about 1,400 feet. Number two is construct a new discharge straight north of the existing plant on the Cimarron River upstream of the confluence of the Cimarron and the Cottonwood. Alternate three was to construct a new discharge on the Cottonwood where our discharge main crosses the Cottonwood now. So alternate one, like I said, 1,400 feet at 21 inches will be required. We'd extend it to a more stable portion of the river. We'd maintain existing discharge permit with minor modification. No change to the treatment process or effluent limits. The existing permit is what they call a 30 BOD, 45 total suspended solids. It's almost a primary standard type discharge permit. It's really wonderful. So this is what the project would be. We'd have to get easements. It is a feasible alternative. That's alternative one. Alternative, it would cost about $1.4 million. The annual cost would be about the average annual equivalent cost of that option would be about $92,000 a year. That's with capital recovery and maintenance. So there is no anticipated increase in annual O&M cost. It's a permanent low maintenance solution. Alternate two would be that we discharge straight north of the plant into the Cimarron River, which is above the confluence of the Cottonwood. So it's an area that there is not a waste load allocation on it at this time. So we'd have to do a model and apply for a waste load allocation to modify the 2A plan. It's upstream of the confluence. So there's what it would be from our effluent weirs of our UV systems straight north across our property. We need one or two easements from landowners that own the old railroad. It's a relatively stable portion of the creek as well, the river. Alternate two, cost and performance, it would cost about $1.49 million. The 20-year design life would be about $95,000 a year, but the estimated annual operation and maintenance increase, because we believe that the limits are going to be more strict because it's, again, we don't have as much assimilation because of the Cottonwood. So the effluent limits would be restrictive, anticipated due to reduced stream flow, and we believe we might have to adjust our treatment a little bit to be able to handle that more strict permit limits, which is why we'd have an increase in operational costs. So reduced stream flow, assimilation capacity at upstream location, anticipated more restrictive effluent limits for BOD, TS ammonia, increased aeration requirements and sludge production, estimated about $60,000 per year increase in O&M costs. Number three, we'd go directly into the Cottonwood, just south of the Cimarron. That was going to require waste load allocation as well. That that creek is loaded up because we have Deer Creek, Oklahoma City Deer Creek, Oklahoma City Chisholm Creek, and we have the Bethany War Acres that dump into creeks that get into Cottonwood. So that we could still need to study to see what we could do with it. And it would require just minimal work off our existing main. So it would cost about $677,000, about $43,000 a year, and we'd still look at an increase potentially in operation costs because of the stricter effluent permit limits. So and one thing I might add is some of the advantages of, like, the existing outfall is about almost 6 miles from the plant, so they have to drive all the way around to the outfall to grab samples. If we did the one on our property, he could take a,
Are you talking about right into the Cottonwood?
no, I'm talking to the Cimarron. The Cottonwood would still require, we just have to drive about 4.5 or 5 miles to get to that point. So this Cottonwood has limited flow and a similar capacity. It's a more restrictive effluent, and as I said, we'd have a $60,000 per year increase in that. So the summary of the cost of the alternatives. Alternative one, which is just extend our existing point, would be the average annual equivalent cost is about $92,000. Alternative two, which is one that goes straight north of our plant, would be about $155,000. Alternative three, which is in the Cottonwood, would be about $103,000 a year. So we just don't know till we run the waste load allocation to what kind of effluent limits we are going to be faced with. So what we need to do now is we need to submit a work plan, which we've written a report and a work plan. We need to submit it to ODEQ after you guys concur, which we hope you would tonight. So once they're going to review it, they'll come back with comments and they'll say, okay, yes, we're okay with y'all moving forward with doing a waste load allocation study of your different points. We would come back to you and then we would ask for funding to do the waste load allocation study at that point. Not asking you to spend any money right now, okay? I want to make sure the DEQ is good with what we're talking about. This is in your, this is an abridged version of what's in your packet. It's very detailed, but basically we go through 3 different sets of processes. We'll do a computer model, a desktop, utilizing standard values to see if that gives us the limits that we're looking for on the 2 locations. If that doesn't do it, then we need to go to the next level where we do a calibrated model. If that doesn't get us good enough limits, then we go to a verification model. And this is what we're presenting to DEQ. We believe that probably the first step would probably give us enough, an effluent limit that is palatable. And I don't know, we might have to go to the second step. So the reason why we need to do this is required to support discharge permitting with ODEQ, particularly with new locations, and confirms what the river or the creek can actually handle in regard to the treated effluent quality, helps set discharge limits that are achievable and defensible. Computer-based, the first phase, like I said, was a computer-based desktop analysis using conservative assumptions. Establishes preliminary discharge limits, no field sampling required. Estimated cost is about $70,000. And that one will evaluate the 3 discharge locations that I just mentioned.
So we're going to be out that regardless.
That regardless for that one. And then, so the current treatment process is produce high-quality effluent in relation to discharge limits. So we're recommending also at some point that we install DO control, which we didn't do on the other project as a cost savings. We'd like to, what we have now is where our blowers are basically operated full bore, so we're getting wonderful effluent. We don't have to have wonderful effluent right now. But if we spend a little bit of money on what they call dissolved oxygen control, we can ramp the blowers up and down and meet whichever discharge limit we're going for, and it'll save cost. So that's what potential savings up to $60,000 a year, which that'll be in the overall plan when we get to that point. So decision after phase 1, we review the results with city staff and DEQ, and we proceed to design if the limits are acceptable. An additional study only if beneficial. So we'll make that decision. We'll come back to you all. We'll present it to you. You all will be able to make a decision if you concur. And if we need money, we'll say we need money. Okay? If we need your blessing, we'll say we need your blessing. We always need your blessing. Calibration if needed. That'd be the next level.
Yeah. You always need money too.
We always need money. We always need the blessing. So field sampling under low flow conditions. This is if we have to do calibration. Refine some model assumptions. May improve allowable limits. That's about $106,000. Hopefully we don't have to go there. Phase 3, verification if needed. If we're just not getting the results. If we want to do it, then we sample under different flow conditions. Final confirmation of discharge limits. Estimated additional cost $97. So the total of all 3, if we have to do it, is $274. I might say that.
What happened to 0?
Pardon?
Yeah. Right, Tracy?
Well, I was going to say DEQ is pushing for us to go straight north because they don't want to mess with it again. So at the end of the day,
And that was phase 2. That was
two. Option 2.
Option 2.
So it looks like, to me, the most cost-effective option would be to extend our existing outfall 1,400 feet. We still have to drive 6.5 miles to the outlet, have to get some easements. But when you look at the overall numbers, it might be the best. So anyway, again, we need to at least do the desktop model to see what kind of effluent limits we could. considering, okay, we could also do this, say if we did do the one, again, it's all a function of the models, we could do the one going straight north of the plant. We also could, someday when we get the money, we could extend to the new location downstream of where we are now. We could have 2 discharge points, which is good for expansion. It's good for seasonal issues. There's a lot of places that have 2 discharge points. So that would be a positive thing too. So current recommendations right now, we just need to approve the work plan and submit to DEQ to get a response back. And then after that, authorize phase 1 of the study after ODEQ approval of the plan.
Which is the 70 grand.
Yes.
So let me ask a question.
Till they've looked at it before we even come back and talk to you about that.
No, I get it. So let me ask a couple quick questions. First off, how much leeway, I mean, what kind of time frame are they giving us? Because they're already saying, hey, you're going into a stagnant pool that's not acceptable.
Right.
And did that just fall through the crack, or did that just all of a sudden happen? How did we get here?
Well, okay, so that's one of those things that, like we said before, that the Cimarron,
It moved.
it moves, okay? There are times that there was,
There's no-
it was there, and there was a reaching out to the river, a part of a channel. And then it just, over the last few years, it's sort of closed up is what it amounts to. We looked at cleaning out the channel.
That's what I was gonna say. What about some bulldozers and
We
start pushing?
looked at that. The Corps of Engineers they were like, well, yeah, it might require a permit. And then they said, but you'll need to do a wetland study because we've created, it is a wetlands, I mean, now. And I just think it'd be a regulatory problem. Plus, it's a lot of material to move. We can't just put it right there. We have to move it upstream to where we don't have any chance of that material coming back to that basin. So it'd be very costly. It was more expensive than the option number 1 or number 2. So, yeah, we looked at that and it would be, and how do we know we clean it all out? What if 15 years it does it again?
Comes back. So how do we get, how much time did they give us to rectify?
That's what we're going to find. They haven't told us yet. They just want to see something from us that you guys have blessed at least a direction. You haven't even blessed an action, you're going to bless a direction.
Okay.
That's all I'm asking for tonight.
What you need is a motion for you to take an action.
Yeah. Did you have language on the agenda?
At this time, I think
And then he'll come back and then do the.
Yeah, I'm not asking for money right now.
Yeah, we're looking for a motion to approve the waste load allocation study. And we will come back after we've presented that waste load allocation study to ODEQ with our work plan, and we've been given guidance from DEQ. We will then come back to the council, present those options after DEQ's given us that.
So you just need a motion on 4.
Just a motion to proceed with the waste load
I move
allocation.
that we proceed with waste load allocation study authorization.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions or comments for Mr. Miners or Mr. Baker?
This might be more of a Tenny question. I don't know. You guys can decide. But was there any point as far as with the quality controls that are already in place that of what comes in and out of the plant, was there any indication that something was wrong at some point before DEQ figured out that the river was changing channels or direction or whatever?
I'm not sure I totally understand your question, but.
Did you see the river moving?
No.
So like in
That's not my
2020, I mean, the river has migrated over time. and
Right.
Has
I
laid
get
out
that.
in that.
This is more about, like, is there testing at the plant, like, to test if the waste isn't going in the proper channel? Does something come back to you guys in the plant and where you go, oh, something doesn't look quite right? That's more my question.
Yes, there's testing that takes place upstream, downstream, so many feet from the discharge point.
Did that ever look?
No.
No.
No, or DEQ'd be, we would have been talking about this long before now.
That's my question. So you didn't have any idea? that
There's
this
nothing
was-
like that. It's just simply the fact that the Cimarron has migrated over, and now, if we could bring that slide back up, it probably explain it a little bit better for us.
And while that slide's coming back up, also, the time of the renewal of our permit is key as well, because when we resubmitted that permit, DEQ was reviewing the documents. If I'm understanding your question correctly, how did we get here?
Yes.
And when we resubmitted that permit early 2025, And during their review, they came back and said, hey, we're not going to approve your permit. We need a
Because this is happening.
Because this is happening.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
You can see here where the Cimarron used to be off over into here and make this loop. Well, our discharge point is, the existing one is right in this area right here. We currently discharge here. Well, now it's just becoming a stagnant pool. It does not reach the actual flow of the water.
Okay.
So that's where we're having, they're telling us now we're going to have to either extend this down here to exit out into the actual discharge of the flowing water of the Cimarron, or look at option 2, I believe it was, dropping straight over the hill from our treatment plant, or back upstream up here at the Cottonwood, where the real small blue area is, looking at discharging right there. But either of your 2 points upstream are going to make, put us under a lot stricter treatment limits, as Bill shared. Currently, we're at 30 and 45. That would probably, guessing that could put us somewhere around like a 4 and a 7 maybe. We don't know that. That's what the workload allocation study would tell us, what those limits are. When you get that tight of limits, comes risk behind that of whenever we go do those tests and pull those tests, obviously there's those tighter limits that you have to be meeting. So
what I was going to ask was, we're talking about dumping it here. Are we needing to watch what happens? Because could it come back up the Cottonwood Creek? It's not going to go very far, but.
You mean, if we dump over here?
Right.
No, they won't, no, because there's so much flow coming in the cotton.
Okay, and that's why I want, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
That answers that then. Okay.
well, you're dumping clean water anyway at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Cleaner, yeah. And I must say,
Cleaner.
the thing about the discharge where it is, the 30-45, there's a lot of forgiveness that comes with a limit like that. Like we're producing right now, sometimes 7 to 10 or 10 to 12. He can have a hiccup and not even be an issue. If we come back over here, it's one thing I want to take into consideration. You just don't have as much room for error. We have a lot of room down there.
Okay.
But again, it's 6 miles for him to go check.
Yeah, for him just to go check, yeah.
It's a mess. I mean, we can get him a side-by-side and get an easement from the road, he can go out the side-by-side down to the thing.
He'd love that.
So that we can't make a lake and just dump it in a hole.
And that's the option without,
Well, yeah, you could.
that's the option with the 0 annual increase.
This, the one
And
on
operation
the-
costs
yeah,
thrown
the one
in.
on the top is, yeah. Yeah,
Well, the old bridge is still there too on the Santa Fe tracks.
it is.
So you
Goes
can,
down there sometimes.
yeah.
We could dump it into a lake, throw a bunch of carp in there, and then eventually we could have some bass and catfish in there. And
There are fish growing in there, by the way. It's clear. You can see the bottom, there's fish.
Yeah.
There's your arm. I don't know what they are.
they're probably carp. Or
Carp, yeah, I was
carp.
gonna say, probably carp. Yeah.
Anyway, that's Aaron's
Okay.
on.
That's it? Oh, thank you. Thank you for that presentation, Mr. Myers.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Tenny.
Yes, thank you.
I believe we had a motion. Did we have a
motion
And a second.
and a second?
There was a second.
Yes.
There's a motion and a second. If there's no further comments or questions, please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval for the waste load allocation study authorization. All right, item number 5, and we are not done, is we are adjourned.
We have another meeting, or we're done?
Yes, sir.
Now we have
A call to order. Our Guthrie Economic Development Authority regular meeting.
Special meeting.
Or special, sorry, habit. Special meeting Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. Item number 2 is the consent agenda, item A.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on that? If there's none, please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval for the consent agenda items A. Agenda item number 3, proposed executive session pursuant to the authority of Title 25 OS 307 as follows.
We already did that.
Mayor and Council, I don't believe we need an executive session on
Right.
this. This was, it's just on there as standard language if you wanted to discuss it, but we've discussed the airport
Correct.
property purchase at length tonight. So this is just, GEDA is actual purchasing authority for the property. So when you get to item number 5, there's no need for item 3, is what I'm saying.
Okay, all right, so we'll skip the agenda
Or 4.
3 and 4. Yep.
3 and, okay, so we'll skip items 3 and 4. And then item number 5, resolution number 2026-01, authorizing the purchase of property for airport purposes and approving the temporary transfer fund.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of Resolution 2026-01, authorizing the purchase of property for airport purposes and approving the temporary transfer funds.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Anybody have anything to?
No, sir. Same item as council.
All those questions? Okay. All right, if there's none, cast your votes, please.
All votes are in.
Okay. Unanimous approval for resolution number 2026-01, authorizing the purchase of property for airport purposes and approving the temporary transfer of funds. All right, item number 6 is the budget amendment number 2. Mr. Faulkner?
Yes, Mayor and Council, this is a budget amendment which supports the action we just took. So staff recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments? If there are none, please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval for the budget amendment number 2. And with that, item number 7 is we are adjourned.